In this set of videos, we're going to be working through Chapter 4, playing with Nanite, Lumen, and other UE5 goodies. So there will be a little bit of material creation, but it's also exploring some other neat things that Unreal 5 has that if you were a tech artist, you possibly would be in charge with helping set up for your art team. So the first part is going to be exploring using some free assets that do come with Unreal, which you'll need to make sure that if you haven't done so already, that you sign into you have an account with Quixel.com. So double check that you do that before you begin. So we're just going to create a very simple scene using Quixel assets. And if you are using Unreal in other projects, other classes, definitely talk to your instructor to make sure that Quixel assets are something that you are allowed to work with on that particular project. So to do this, we just go to Window, and we choose, Window, Quixel Bridge. And if you are, able to log in with this, you should be able to then have access. Once you log in, you can start to explore and see what options there are, but we just need to set up kind of a nice little still life. And as long as you're kind of going along with the same kind of style, like I don't mind, but we're just trying to put like a still life on this table. So I try to take it a little bit seriously as far as what assets you choose and how you place it. But I'm just going to grab first, let's see, a plate. So I'm going to go under 3D assets, interior, decoration, and choose tableware. And, again, choose what you want for your still life, but just try to take it a little bit more seriously. Don't put any weird things down or anything that's too big for this exercise. And I'm going to choose, same as the book, it has like this, I don't see the same one. I'm just going to choose this wooden bowl. That'll work. And when we click on the bowl, notice that we do have some options down here. And we have the ability to choose different qualities, like low, medium, and high. And this kind of determines like the size of the textures and how many triangles it has. But we're just going to go for high quality, and we're going to hit download. Be aware that these can take up a lot of space, and once you're done with your project, you might want to go in and delete these out of where it saves them to, so that they don't take up as much space on your hard drive if you don't plan to use them. So I'm going to click add once that's downloaded. And we can see I now have a wooden Megascans 3D Assets wooden bowl. So remember, we do need to make sure that we are putting this somewhere where you can, submit it to me. So I was bad and I haven't set up my folder yet, so why don't I go ahead and do that. I'm going to go to Content, New Folder, Last name, First name. In that folder, I'm going to create a new folder for levels. I'm also going to create a folder now for Megascans. So let me save out this level before I get too far. Save current level as. And I should be good about every time I get a new Megascan, just moving it over like this, just into my Megascans folder over here. There you go. And now I can just drag and drop my bowl. It is sunk into the ground. Hold on. It is snapping a little too much. Let's turn that And if you wish to, explore, set this up the same way as me, feel free, but, we can fill this bowl with whatever you want. So I'm going to do a little jump so you're not watching me just poke around at Quixel. So hold on a moment. Once you have your scene set up, and I just have some 3 fruits in my bowl, what we're going to want to try to do with these now is set up nanite on them. What nanite is that it will adjust the amount of triangles on your objects kind of automatically. This is a great way to be able to put high-end assets into your scene and have it figure out what it needs to cut it down for you without having to do a lot of cleanup. This is really great for photogrammetry objects, like a lot of realistic type stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our object in the content browser. So I'm going to start first with the wooden bowl and just double click it to pull this up. And we are looking for over here on the right, this nanite settings. We want to enable nanite support. And then we're going to click on the apply changes. And we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up for all of my assets. Oops. Yes, change. Let me go through those real quick. I did already move them into the right folder. So let's just quickly enable changes. Hopefully you didn't get too many. So I forgot to my last one. So what this will do is handle, how many, your triangles, your texture size, all of that for you. But, you might not be able to always use nanite. And nanite, nanite's a great tool, but it's always also nice to know other ways that we can handle this. What I'm going to talk about is the concept of LODs. And if you've had me for another class, specifically environment art, you've probably had me talk about what LODs are. If you have not, this is an important concept. When you have a big detailed game, lots of little assets, very, these are pretty high end, a lot of triangles. What if it was supposed to be like a giant fruit stall? What if you zoomed out and you have all of this fruit and you have millions of polygons? How can the game engine handle that? And the way we do that is by setting up LODs for objects. And it just stands for level of detail. This is found, I'm going to just do it on the wooden bowl back in this panel. Let me just turn off enable nanite. And that is down here. The way it works is that based on the distance from your object, it will it'll swap in different 3D models. Unreal, you can generate your own LODs right in the engine. Sometimes it does a good job, sometimes it doesn't do a great job. There isn't anything native to Unity to do this. You would have to manually create your LODs, which literally means you take your object, you duplicate it, you make a lower version of it, duplicate again, lower and lower. It can be a tedious process, but it is like a necessary thing with trying to create games. There are tools you can get for Unity that will kind of automate it, but sometimes you will have to do both for Unreal and Unity the old-fashioned way and create your own LODs in something like Maya or Blender. So LOD picker right here. Let me slow my camera down a little bit so we can actually we move, there we go. And we can tell what LOD it's using up here, if you ever wonder what that means. Right now we're using LOD number 2, so we're not even using the first LOD. We'd have to get super close. And the idea is that you don't want to see the LODs change. You would want to, it's supposed to be seamless. You've probably seen LODs popping in games where it looks like a really low end version of it till you get really close, and then it switches to a higher quality version. That's a mistake. There's lots of different reasons why that can happen in a game. But, the goal is to make that not happen. So just to kind of show you, because it is sometimes helpful to be able to come in and mess with this. If we go to LOD, if we turn it off auto, we can, work with doing different settings for this. We can either, work with screen size, so like how big it is on the screen, or we can do, percent triangles. So like, let me go back up to LOD 0. I don't know why it's not letting me change this. Maybe I can't do it on 0. Let me try to go to 1. Let's try. We'll just move ahead because I don't not quite know why it's blanked out, but there are lots of settings that you can adjust with this, including, like what material to use. So you can like make like a 2K, you can tell it not to cast shadows. There's a lot to set up, but the thing we can really try to mess with is what percent of triangles that you will see. Like you can, work a lot with this, and, we can purposefully make it look really bad just so you can kind of see what happens. So if I, for instance, make say 5% of triangles on LOD2, which is what we can currently see. Yeah, and it honestly didn't do very much. This must be really, really high poly. Let's try that. Maybe we'll drop this down to like 2000. Let's see. Uh, 1000. Hold on a moment. Can we actually see? Let's go to wireframe, see what it's doing. Let's drop it down to like 50. It's not really dropping. Okay, let's drop 0.5. Why is this not changing? Hold on a moment. Here's LOD1. I think I broke it. Hold on. Let's try doing it on LOD1. I can see how many triangles it's set to. This one, LOD2 is only supposed to be 42. Let's see. It's not behaving itself today. Let's try checking that. So I can see the triangles dropping. I was hoping to have it a little bit closer. Let me put it back on wireframe. So you can, I was hoping to make it dramatic. I guess it's just fighting with me today, but we can actually see them change now. LOD0 is at 8,000. LOD1 is at 800. So we can watch the wireframes pop. Let's go back to lit. So this is kind of like the manual old way of doing it. Well, I guess it's not quite manual. It's nice that we do have this ability. I would be in your best interest to get more familiar with working with the LOD tool over here. It's especially useful for doing trees and other foliage. Definitely needs LODs, larger buildings. all of that fun stuff, you definitely want to work with the LODs on there. So let's close out of here. I'll just save it. Why not? And one thing that we can do is we did change over all of that stuff to Nanite other than the bowl. I did switch. We can go and see what it's doing. So if we go to our lit over here, there is a Nanite visualization that we can turn on. Let's see, which one do we want? Triangles. And we can see how the nanite is automatically cutting those triangles. And if we move around, we can watch them change in real time. So if we zoom out, we can see that the triangles are getting smaller. Zoom in. I'm sorry, they're getting bigger because they're taking up more of their space. They're cutting down on the amount of triangles. So if we get closer, it definitely adds to those triangles. So this is kind of like a neat way just to make sure that everything is working correctly. So let's switch this back. So yeah, if you do want to, make a nice little scene with Quixel assets, they are some very nice, scanned assets using photogrammetry processes, but they can be very high end, like the extreme amount of polygons. So it is important to make sure that if you are doing that, you probably either want to make sure that you can use nanite to cut down those polys, or the old-fashioned way of using LODs.